and you did everything right and did everything the way you should, and you comported yourself and your team right, and you should have kneeled the 2-point conversion. Okay.
I mean, could you imagine if that happened?
Everything would have been achieved, by the way. They would have shown that they played hard, went for it, converted those 4th and 20s. No one could accuse them of dogging it. But once they got that last touchdown, bro, it was a very clear moment. If we kneel it here, we get the number 1 pick of the draft. We have a more valuable asset than we do this morning. Lovie's not thinking about this, but this is true for the organization. This is a more attractive head coaching job, whether for Lovie or for whomever. They were walking down the street and had the option. Do I pick up the 1st overall pick or the 2nd overall pick? And they chose the 2nd overall pick. I'm not saying from the very beginning of the game you don't try, but you could have comported yourself with total dignity.
No, zero chance.
Yes.
Total dignity.
Yeah,
zero.
They converted a 4th and 20.
I am totally with Nick.
What?
All right, this is.
I cannot believe
this. This is about. Like Nick said, they went out, they played hard, they played
did
well.
everything.
This is about the future. Now, I'll say this. They may have C.J. Stroud rated
But
ahead
still,
of Bryce Young.
It's still more valuable to have the number 1
pick.
pick.
Right, because trade options,
Yes.
I get it. But that must be in the thinking that
No, there was
we'll
no
be fine with
thinking.
the
They're a
second
terrible
pick. But
organization.
Overall,
Thank you, Greg. Greg,
it's
please.
a bad move. I got to hear the logic from y'all.
What?
Please, I mean, look, they overcame a 4th and 12. Then 4th and 20, they get the Hail Mary.
Yes.
And we make it seem like they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. Look, this team is bad. They were more than trying to win.
Right.
They were trying not to go to overtime with 2 teams.
Guess what?
A
knee guarantees you don't go to overtime.
I understand.
That's
that
the issue.
You can't do that.
Why not?
Why not?
You
Tell me
don't
why.
do that.
Why?
Because those guys in that locker room, on that field, they don't play for a draft pick. They're there now.
Right, which is why
They know if you were a receiver on that team.
No. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen to what I'm saying. The guys in that locker room don't care about who's coming in here next year or the draft pick. It's not about that for them. So that's me as a head coach now having to go and explain to my guys, I had you take a knee because we wanted to make
But
sure
can I
we
ask
had
you a
the
question?
number 1 overall
Hold
draft
on.
pick. Do you know how much credibility you just lose as a head coach saying that to your guys?
Okay.
Doing that? No, man,
Do
you can't do
those
that.
guys in the locker room take a lot from the fact that so if they had failed on that 2-point conversion, their feeling this morning is drastically different about this season, their careers, their lives as a professional football player than if they made it. No, either way, they were a part of a terrible team.
Greg, if you were a receiver on that team and you know that potentially you got a franchise star quarterback in this draft, you're a receiver, and you've been going through all these different guys since Deshaun left. You wouldn't be wanting a top pick?
Yes, but we're going to get a top pick.
Number 1?
Yeah, not number 1. And I understand the value. I understand that. But let's say the Bears keep their number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. Are they drafting a quarterback?
But that's not the point.
Okay,
The point is the value of proposition. And I think I agree to a point that just outright throwing a game.
That's what it is.
No.
It's not just because you did it later in the game.
Exactly. It doesn't matter when you decide to do it.
Then forfeit the game. Don't show up.
No.
Let the fans play.
No, because then you are depriving the guys of the opportunity.
You did.
Hold on a second. Of putting stuff on tape. Of succeeding, of Akins converting that 4th and 20. All of those things were achieved. The Colts got to fight, you got to fight, and then with less than a minute left,
you give up.
Yeah.
You just say, nope, look, guys, all that work we just put in.
But that work is for nothing anyway.
Hold on. Let me throw this at you. Remember last year? We're going to get to this right away. The Chargers and the Raiders. The Raiders were willing. They were going to, it looks like they were just going, we'll tie. We'll take the tie. We'll both make the playoffs. Doesn't that go against the spirit of, hey, we practiced all week to win this game? Yeah. It wasn't until the Chargers called the timeout that the Raiders said,
that's all true. It's just crazy.
You remember that?
Look, I do remember that. But what you guys are suggesting, so if you both have kids, you're going into your locker room with your kids playing on that team and saying, hey, look, we're going to give everything we got, but we're not going to win the game.
Yeah.
That's what
we're going to win the bigger game.
They didn't say that.
Game of life. That's why I tell my kids.
No,
they
answer the question.
hard.
That's what
They
you're going to do.
played
That's what you're going to do.
Definitely.
That's what you're going to do.
Literally,
I want to hear.
Hold on.
Oh, no, please.
Stop. But we see it every. We just don't see it directly. We see guys play their worst players. We see guys in the NBA have Mark Madsen shoot 12 threes.
Process.
We see guys do it for a whole season.
We do.
We see guys in week 7 and week 18 start third-string quarterbacks. Right. We see it all, and we're like, oh, that's fine because it's not direct. What I'm arguing is play as hard as you can and then take a knee on a conversion and be honest about it, and it's fine. You know what really trying to lose is? Hiring Jeff Saturday. No, yeah, that one worked. That one worked for the Colts. Go ahead, Walt.
Quickly, before we move on, do you think a draft lottery would get rid of this scenario? Or
yeah, I think to a degree. No, I think a draft lottery would probably be an improvement, but until that's there, take the knee.
Do not take the knee.
Do not take the knee.
I mean, that's
okay.
I apologize to the country for that take.
Can we do the Staley thing quickly?
Yeah, good news. We're talking Brandon Staley now. Brandon Staley's Chargers had nothing to play for, but rolled with the starters. Mike Williams and Joey Bosa both left the game with injuries, and Justin Herbert took some good shots. And by good shots, I mean bad shots. Here's Staley.
We only have 20 seconds here. Luckily, I will be quick. I didn't know the Giants had 98 guys available to them because they seem to be able to not play any of their important people.
That's a fact.
Brew was right. I was wrong, and I'm very sad about the Brandon Staley. I was bewitched by Brandon Staley's
fourth time he said this
fourth down aggressiveness, Brew, which I think is smart and cutting edge, and I think you old fogies could learn something from him on fourth downs. But when it comes to every other part of being a head NFL football coach, the guy semes to be clueless.
You're out on him now.
So I'm done. I was wrong on Brandon Staley. I was one of his loudest prominent defenders. I'm done, Brandon Staley. So you go ahead and do your thing. But that was total mismanagement by a head coach. Yikes. That was bad.
Another W for you.
Brew, you're right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
It's just terrible.
I got nothing
Coming up next, is Aaron Rodgers going to retire?
What?
Stay tuned for this segment and 100 other ones we're going to do till August.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.